if you stand, it might be scary. If you stand, there might be a price to pay. There might be. You might lose your job. You might lose some friends. You might lose family members who won't talk to you anymore, but you'll feel good about yourself and people will rally around you. What happens? You know, my son's in law school. He had this happen last 6 months ago or so. He wrote an article about some of the woke stuff that was coming to his law school. He got attacked viciously on his campus by a bunch of people, but a bunch of new people in the conservative community rallied around him, thanked him for writing something, thanked him for standing up, and he's got a great group of friends that come out of that. When you stand, when you step into the firefight, other people admire it and they'll join you. The question is, how many of us are willing to do it? Are you willing to do it? Are you willing to lead? Are you willing to take a risk? What's it worth to you? There's a lot to lose. Look, I understand that, right? There's risk. And I'm not telling you, you have to take that risk. You have to calculate that risk in your own life. I'm telling you, if not enough of us take that risk, we're not going to save the country and we're not going to save the culture. What's going to save it is when more and more and more and more of us push back, because these radical woke leftists, it's not the majority. Frankly, it's not even the majority of Democrats. Most Democrats today say they feel unsafe expressing what they actually believe. So the vast majority of the American public is like you or me. They want to be able to express what they believe without worrying about being canceled. The only way we're going to make that happen is if you and I are willing to stand when it's time to stand. You got to ask yourself, what are you willing to do? Are your kids willing to stand at school? Are you willing to stand against curriculum that you find offensive and obnoxious? This incredible sexualization of children that's going on in our schools. They're teaching your kids about deviant sexual practices at a very young age, not leaving that to parents. Are you willing to stand against that as parents and grandparents? Are you willing to rock the boat? Are you willing to stand at your place of employment? Are you willing to stand in your friend groups on Facebook where they're saying things that are just unbelievable and outrageous? I know a lot of people that have been unfriended by their friends just for standing up and saying what they believe. Honestly, just for saying things like, you know, I think men are men and women are women. Are you going to stand and say, I'm going to say that? Am I a transphobe? No, I'm not scared of trans people. Am I anti-trans? I'm not anti any human beings. I actually feel bad for people. And somebody who's a man and thinks they're a woman, or a woman who thinks they're a man, they're confused. Right? That's actually a mental disorder. And I feel for those people. But that doesn't mean that I participate in it. I don't. It's not right. It's not real. It's not reality. Men are men and women are women. And you might get canceled for saying that. I'm sure there will be people who watch this that are going to be insulted that I said that. But I'm going to say that. And by the way, if you disagree with me on that point, if you think gender is fluid and whatever you might think about 57 genders or whatever, I think you're wrong. I disagree with you, but I would fight and die for your right to say that stuff. We need to get back to a society where we can have fundamental disagreements over really important things, and we could say those things out loud and not be worried about whether or not we're going to lose our jobs, lose our friends, lose our families, be unpersoned. That's what's going on in America, unpersoning. And unpersoning is highly dangerous. It's dehumanizing. When you unperson people, it leads to persecution. We can't let that happen in our country. So I'm going to stand and I am going to fight against that stuff. I'm here live in Philadelphia at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. When you hear the phrase lives, fortunes, and sacred honor, these are the folks we should think of, those who anonymously gave their lives. Well, today you have a chance to volunteer. You need to volunteer for conventionofstates.com, the movement that's going to save the country. These folks are willing to step up and give everything. We need you to give just a little bit. Go to conventionofstates.com and volunteer today.